Hey, I think we're live. All right, we're back up again for the second time today. This time, we're actually doing a Festiva thing. I've tried to clear out some space for real this time. I'm gonna go get the car scooted up a bit and get it up on jack stands and start draining everything out because we have to pull this engine and trans. I will wait to do all the intro stuff once we get a few more people in here. I do want to say though, yesterday, day before, we talked about some emojis that you can do if you become a member. I think it's $1.99 a month, and you get access to membership perks, which I'm still working on. But one membership perk that's already here is custom emoji. I had one of my face, the little profile picture B, one of JDMC V2, and now we have one of Maverick. Very fun. I'll put one of those in chat real quick.
Industries said _Mav.
I think. Oh no, where's it at? Hang on. Let me try this again real quick.
Said _will JDMV2 meta will JDMV2 meta. Carhole said will JDMV2 meta will JDMV2 meta. Carhole said meta me two things.
Yeah, it all sounds right to me. Also, I don't know why I didn't read it earlier, Carhole, but I did see your comment. It's crazy to see two of your own cars in the thumbnail. So true. Good things happening though. Good to see them both getting some love, I'm sure, on stream. Well, I have the Mav emoji enabled.
Said, absolutely.
Well, hopefully the Mav emoji starts working sometime in this stream. I know I can see on my end it is enabled, at least. Yeah, see default perks, emoji. There it is, it's Mav. Now I changed it to say Maverick, hoping that would help. I don't know if it has.
Said, I don't see it yet, even after a refresh.
Yeah, me either. Alright, well, hopefully it comes up at some point. Because it's Maverick's face is adorable. I did change it to Maverick, so I guess throughout the stream there might be a chance that Maverick ends up working. It'll look like that when it's done.
Industries said _Maverick. Said, maybe Maverick has to be present.
Maybe we should bring him out here. So yeah, according to YouTube, we do have this selection. So what we should be looking for is that adorable little Maverick. And I have told it save and publish, so hopefully that ends up working. At any rate, welcome everybody to the stream. So, as the title and description may suggest, we are doing an auto to manual swap. Now, today won't necessarily be the swap itself. However, we will be preparing for the swap by getting all the parts we need from the donor car. So we have this lovely 5-speed manual Festiva here. It has an electrical gremlin that's making it not want to run correctly. I looked at it once before, many years ago, didn't figure it out back then. I have a better idea now of what might be causing it. However, doesn't really matter now because we just need its transmission and its engine and also its linkage and also its pedal box and also its starter and the mounts and the cross member and the axles. We'll get to that. For now, I'm just going to scoot it over and start getting drained. So at the end of the day, the engine, trans, everything related to the transmission are going to go from this car into the white one that is behind the garage door right now, which is automatic and leaking oil profusely. So today we will be discussing what all needs to be pulled from this to go into that one to make it manual, how to pull all that stuff, and we're doing it all on the stream. It's going to be a great time. But as always, step one to doing work in the engine of a Festiva for removal, we got to drain everything. We got to drain the trans, drain the engine, and drain all the coolant. And give myself a little more room to pull all the axles and stuff on the driver's side. I'm going to scoot the whole car a tick this way. There, that should help. Might as well actually get it up and on the jack stands. This car does have some rust. It's not crazy amounts, but it's not exactly clean. So we will see how that affects our pulling here. I don't think it should matter too much. It does already have the lower ball joints out. Not usually. I did not actually remove those. It came to me like that. Rolling into the garage was kind of a pain with the knuckles just falling out on their own. No worries though, it's here now. Doing a lot of the usual stuff like pulling the hood off, then draining all the fluids, pulling the radiator, and pulling the axles. We should get started.
Grr said, "Well, do you have any information on a Mazda 1.7 PN diesel?"
I can tell you that it will bolt to your stock transmission. It will fit into a Festiva, and you can make it work. The really hard part is finding one. I actually tried to find a PN diesel last year for my dad to do a little project with, and they are getting incredibly hard to find. I found one potentially, I think it was in Southern Europe, like Spain area. It was listed on a sketchy website. It had been listed for like 2 years. I don't know if they even still have it. That was the last one I even saw for sale. So yeah, PN diesel, pretty cool, but also very hard to find as an American. And the bigger version, the 2-liter one, will not fit in a Festiva. You need the PN itself. There is one already done in the US though, the Festiva Limo. I believe Aaron Frazee owns that currently. He converted that to a PN. I think he used most of the stock system from a PN, the ECU, and then stock Festiva tank, I think, and just converted to a high pressure pump. You have to ask him for the details on that, but that one is swapped and is running. I think it's the first running, like fully completed PN swap in the US. But yeah, find them, very difficult. Alright, this thing's been sitting a long time. There's a lot of cobweb and dirt in here. but I didn't have a good chance to get it clean before dragging it in the garage. So we'll keep the gloves on. This pan already has some oil in it, some oil residue I should say, so might as well start with the oil. It'll be a 17 or a 14 that drain plug, depending on which version it has. Or 19 for this one. I think I'll end up being a 24 for the transmission plug. I'm also going to do the thinking ahead thing and put on the latex gloves instead of my cloth ones. I think last time I said that and then still didn't and got covered in oil. So try to be smart now.
Grr said, "Man, I need to get my butt in gear on my swaps."
Yes, I know the feeling. After this little project's done, which I should have basically done this week, we're going to be streaming, I think, every afternoon/evening this week up until Thursday. After that, I am finally getting started on JDM Festiva V2. We'll be doing a lot of that on stream. Since I don't really want to do guide videos and I have a lot of progress, I just need to get through it and get done. So I'll be doing live streams instead of recordings, that way I can just get at it. But I'm very excited for that. We should have a bunch of cool guests come in to help out with that too. Hopefully they get a chance to make it out here, which would be very cool. Especially for if anybody recognizes some of the names of people that are coming. Ugh. That oil is out as black as the night. Apparently it's been too long since I've done just a standard manual, because that is totally a 19. Have a couple rags on standby. Thankfully the oil, despite being very black, is also very full, so I will need to drain it once before I even drain the trans into it, so it doesn't overflow. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to also look for my coolant bottle. I've got a bottle already right here for oil. Do not have one for coolant yet. Alright, that's pretty well drained. love using these cat litter jugs for oil. This wide mouth makes it so easy to pour stuff in here. Despite how black this is, I don't see much metallic flake or anything in it, which is good. Sure smells like used oil. Doesn't smell like gasoline or weird coolant milkshake or anything like that sort. That's great news. Good sign of the health of this engine, despite its obviously lack of oil changes. Move that floor trip over it. Drain transmission now. Wow, there's a lot of cobwebs in here. Transmission, on the other hand, seems to have some very healthy ATF in it. Still quite red, light brown. That's great news. Well, sorta. It's fresh, but also quite low. There's definitely not the whole 2.5 quarts in there. While we have it out, then we probably need to freshen up the shaft output seals, and I'm guessing you could probably use a new crush washer on the drain plug. So with the amount of rust this thing has, being so low, that bodes really well for the ease of this job. The only thing I'm really concerned about as far as making my life difficult are the exhaust studs. With the rust that it does have, there's a good chance that those exhaust studs have been very hot already. They're already rusty. There's a good chance I'm going to snap something to try to get those out of there. Beyond that, shouldn't be too bad. Looks good enough to me to drain some coolant in that. While the coolant starts draining, we can start pulling off the hubs and the axles. I'll put our little radiator plug up on my table full of hardware so I don't lose it. Impact and the stud converted. So 14, take our wheels off. 17, take our studs off, or our bolts off, I mean, for the hubs. That's better. Oh wow, the hub is actually like entirely off. I didn't realize how much was missing from in here. There is no caliper, the tie rods are not in place, and the lower control arm is not in place. I guess that should make our job pretty easy for taking the axles out at least. But yeah, there's like nothing in the front of this car. This is not the first time this thing's been parted out, apparently. Or if it's the same story on this side. Well, this one's at least got a caliper on it still. Lower control arm is in place. The tie rod is sitting in it but not bolted down. So, there you go. Zip off the axle real quick. Should be able to use the smaller gun, the 17, to get those strut bolts off. The more I look in here, the more I'm starting to get concerned about a wasp, leaving one of these wasp nests and causing me some issues. There's actually quite a bit of wasp nest up in here. That's better. Beautiful green OEM axles. You gotta love to see it. See how easy it was to pop out? 3 rotations, a quick yank, and it's here. Man, OEM axles are the best. Let's see if we can go replicate that success.
Said. GG too easy.
Too easy. Make sure you get all these parts bundled together. Doubly so, because this is not my car. And one more axle out. This one, not OEM, aftermarket, but a decent axle clip. Looks like it's been modified to fit, which is good. Whoever put this in, thank you for paying attention and doing it right. Alright, that's both axles, just like that. This is going swimmingly. See if I can put our radiator plug back. Oh, maybe not. Radiator plug seems to have been broken at one point. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up, but you can see there's not much there to thread in. See what we can do. Anyway. Well, it's in there just barely. We'll count that. And while we have the pan down here, we should probably go ahead and pull the lower radiator hose out. I'm sure there's some stuck in it, since it is the lowest point of the car, not the radiator itself. For that, we'll use those dang hose pliers I keep ranting and raving about. Ta-da! Oh, I actually disturbed a spider from its nest just now. Sure, that will not be the last time I do that today. hopefully the hoses on the other car are in better shape because these are quite dried out. The store's working on getting new hoses made, but I fear we're still a little ways away. Alright, I'm going to need an actual pair of pliers for this one. Pretty well seized on there. That's as much as it's going to do right now. We can pull it off the rest of the way if we need to as we lift the engine up. Going to wipe the gunk off that since I dropped it right next to all the fluids. Put that for now. Toss these nasty gloves. Coolant. This might be a little low. It's definitely green, which is good to see. Gonna hit this with a blower. Just kind of blow it back towards the back of the garage a little bit. Keep at least a little bit of dirt out of the back of my head. Alright, coolant is out. I'll set it up here and try not to forget about it later. Or at least until I get a drain bucket to put it in. Speaking of, I think this drain bucket has drained all it needs to. So we do our funnel. Quick cleanup, switch back to our gloves, and put our funnel away. From this point, engine removal is pretty standard procedure as far as what I consider standard goes. You have to undo some mounts, undo the exhaust, undo the linkage, all that's on the bottom. Then we move up to the top, undo all the electrical connections, heater core hoses, pull the radiator out. Bob's your uncle. So let's start with the basic stuff. Let's get all the top end stuff now and give my poor spine a break. Most of that will be a 10. Appreciate everybody joining me today. I've been trying to do like a more consistent streaming thing, like every Saturday ideally-ish, every weekend, something like that. Obviously we had the Sunday stream, which did not turn out great with how bad our connection was. I appreciate the people that were able to hack it through that mess of no internet. But it does help me a lot on YouTube. They just really want to see me getting those watch hours, and streaming is a great way to get them. YouTube has made it difficult recently to make money from YouTube, and I still don't think I'll make a ton. As far as I'm aware, even with payment, YouTube, for the amount of views I get, it'll only be a few dollars a month, but every bit helps, right? Just popping out the intake here, so we can pull all the stuff out. Take out the intake assembly as one big unit. Take out the throttle cable and make sure we keep track of all these little bolts. Grab a pick, electrical connector. wires for our IAC hoses. Also, if you are watching and you're new here, or it's one of the first streams you've caught, as a general reminder that my streams aren't really intended to be guide videos, and for most of what we're doing today, we actually have a guide video. So if you are watching this and wondering how on earth do you remove a Festiva engine, we actually have a guide video on the channel for that, where I'll be going over this in like much greater detail. So if you're curious on what exactly the details are, what exactly I'm doing here, and this is too blurry and too far away for you to see, I highly recommend checking out that guide. Or if watching me pull an engine out sounds entertaining and you just want to bump up those view counts, feel free to just watch it for the fun of it. It can be entertainment. Alright, one intake assembly. All this is going to go back with this car when it leaves, as it is not my stuff. We'll take out the bath holder, just to make our life easier when we pull the engine out. See what we got for upper radiator hose. Stock spring clamp, great news. Much prefer those OEM clamps compared to the aftermarket stuff. For a manual swap, I would normally actually take the power sub harness and make that part of the swap, since it's already got the connectors in the right spots for the transmission and for the starter, which is in a slightly different place between manual and automatic. But this car has had the wiring messed with so much trying to diagnose its issues I was referring to earlier that I really don't think we want to use this harness. I think it's a little too
Elliot Casa said, Yo estoy esperando a ver unswapped a B3 a BP. I'm waiting to see a B3 to BP swap guide.
I will not be doing a BP swap guide. I'm not a big fan of BPs in Festivas. They're too big, they're too long. They make some weird harmonic issues that will eat your transmission a lot quicker. So yeah, there won't be any BP guides on this channel. We are, however, working on a B6T guide for all those that want to do the turbo swap, and we already have a B6D guide.
Said, the P stands for piss.
I have heard that. I believe Yoshiro Matsuda himself actually once claimed that. Alright, intakes out, radiators out. Top side, you can get the battery tray out. You need to unplug these wires and get these heater core hoses out. Fuel lines, a couple vacuum lines. We are moving right along.
P stands for power.
Power? Maybe. Alright, these fuel lines are pretty corroded. We are probably going to snip them, make our lives much easier. I would not trust these on any car, how they're looking right now. That one's not even hooked up, actually. Yikes. There's one fuel line off. And 2 fuel lines off. And you can you definitely smell the tarnished gasoline in here that's been sitting for a while. You know, with how rough all of the cables are over here, you might actually just leave it on the transmission, or on the engine I should say, since you want to tear this all up later anyway and change it out. So yeah, let me unhook the harness from the car side, pull all as one unit. Oh, wait. Yeah. There we go. Now I need to pop the clutch cable off. Later on we'll be coming back and pulling it out, or switching to a new one. This one's got some rust on the adjuster and stuff. Now would be a great time to pillage the Festiva store and get a nice fresh new clutch cable.
Alec Casa said, "You are welcome in Guatemala. I have a couple of projects in progress so you can lend us a hand."
Oh man, if I ever get the chance, I'll take you up on that for sure. That sounds like a good time.
Rogers said, "Is that the bean machine getting a manual swap?" Carhole said, 3.
It is. It is indeed the bean machine receiving a manual swap. An excellent time. That's a good day to be a bean machine.
Rogers said, "Hell yeah."
Yes, yes. And thank you for joining and being a part of that lovely process.
Said, "Hey brother." Rogers said, "Hey brother."
Alright, I went ahead and took the sparkle canister out of the way, literally just so that it is out of the way. Gonna try to shove the clutch cable up out of the way as well. We have an OE clamp for this hose back here. See if it comes off in one piece. I don't have super high hopes because this style clamp kind of sucks. Yeah, not going so good. Alright, a little more manual convincing. And it's gone. Perfect. I will go ahead and loosen the speedo cable while I have access right now. Speedo cable is loose. This actually might be close to one of our fastest engine removals yet. I don't know, is we keeping track of time here? We're 47 minutes in the stream and only actually, 37 minutes into pulling this thing? We should be well under an hour, but man, I might be close to that 45-minute mark for pulling the whole engine. If I had an assistant out here, like if Steven were here helping, I think this would have been a 30-minute one. I'm going to go ahead and purposely make a huge mess on the ground so I can clean up this rag real quick.
Said, new record for engine pull percent good strats.
Yeah, we're switching it up this time. Changing how we normally pull the wiring harness section. Some might consider it cheating. I consider it, just using the glitches available to me. Man, we're flying through this. I think all we have left are the lower mounts, linkage exhaust, upper mount. Let's get her done. Step 1, linkage and mounts. We're going to probably want 14 on this bad boy. Trusty roller, a little light. Oh, I'm backwards. That's more like it. I've eaten a lot of cobble down here. Gross. Alright, some linkage bits. Find our rear mount bolt. There's one. Two. Three. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Now I think we want the long extension, get the exhaust off. Start with the clamp where I can see it real quick. Get a long extension, very long extension. Let's try our super long one real quick. Start with the very front one, going through the sway bar mount. And we'll wait for a second. I actually let the car up a little bit more to use this guy. Well, you know about that. It's actually too long. So let me pause the timer. Can I do a section speed run? Oh, gotta hit the hood off too. Probably do that. Not had enough juice that will impact. It's fine, we'll just have to use the big one. 14 again. He's standing here with the axle socket. That one only half broke. It's a good start. That one fully good, I think. The back one. Can we reach it? Yes. Back one. Oh, thankfully it didn't break. It pulled the stud out, which is good because I actually have these studs available new. They're not listed on the store or anything, but I do have them in my secret stash of things. Alright, still need to get that 12 off the linkage to the back. So shoot him off to the side. See if this guy will reach that back nut. Okay, plenty of 13 French on that guy. See you. Oh, is it one? The link is off. Oh, we're still under that hour mark. Time to get the hoist over here and set it up. Once I take the tension off the mount, I will pop the mount off. Be good to go. Our last B3 pull, I think we did on camera, was a bit slower because it had AC. The last one was Brad Edwards. That one took a lot longer because it was automatic. And I'm sure once we get the beam machine in here to pull its engine out, it'll be much the same, taking a long time to do the automatic. There we go. One leg. Again, I don't think this should count against my time. In an ideal scenario, I'd have a big shop space with enough room to leave the hoist unfolded at all times. I don't think like speedrunners get clocked against them and they have to go pause and change the battery and controller, right?
Said, "This is all part of stress."
Ma'am.
Said, "You should seriously put a speedrun timer on screen next time, lol."
Yeah, we'll have to do that for the auto pull. Just like that. All right, here we go. Let's see if that's all it takes. Oh, hang on. I already know. There's another vacuum line that we got earlier. Scanning, scanning. Looks great to me. Oh, hood on even. Hard mode. What did I forget? Ah, yeah, accessory lube. Goes to the injectors. O2 sensor. And the temp sender. It does have a little tiny ground.
Said, would the ATI damper help the vibrations you spoke of earlier with a BP swap? B6T are getting harder to find.
Yeah, it can help. It's not like a solve per se, but it can help. Honestly, I think B6Ts are still pretty easy to find. It's just you have to be willing to travel for it. Somebody just posted one in a junkyard earlier. I think pulling the whole thing from that yard would be less than $500. I forgot that little ground wire again. I always miss that little guy.
HDH said, be easy, daddy.
Done. She's out. Time. There it is. 1 B3 E Series 5-speed with harness. So this is the Hackery I was talking about earlier. Probably hard to see on the camera all the way over there, but you can see all of the, put it in front of me for a second, all the wrap has been, oh, let me model that for you. Yes. Look at that. The 2024 Sam Industries collection right here.
Said, GG, UU,
yes.
RR.
Yes. Hello. Anyway, you can see it's been completely unwrapped. It's got a Capri or a Spire. Fuse box has been added to it. A lot of crimp and solder and tape in here. Actually, I think I did that. I think this is my doing. I think when I said I was messing with electrical ones before, I think I replaced this whole fuse box. This is before I had sealed fuse boxes in the stores. It was years ago. Because this looks like my test of tape. I remember trying to solder this in like the dead of winter. It was like freezing outside with numb hands trying to cut these wires in the engine bay in his yard. Didn't fix it. I believe now the issue is probably a relay ground issue, but that's neither here nor there.
Said, you did that ages ago.
Yes.
Yep. Very, very cold.
Okay, yeah, so my memory is correct. That was me. But there it goes. I put that in there trying to fix the issue. That didn't do it. Now I believe it to be a ground issue, but it doesn't really matter now because we're going to be using the harness. Part of this harness and then part of the harness from the other car. That's really up to the customer, in this case, Alex. If he wants, like, the neutral safety sensor to do something. It doesn't really do anything anyway, but if he really wants that in there, and if he wants the starter wires to not be too long, then we can do all that. But I think what he wants is for it to be running, and ideally we should use the harness in that car, and just I can cut and swap the plugs to make the reverse sensor work like it's supposed to, the reverse lights, and then just not have the clutch safety switch. Because in this case, if you want the clutch safety switch to work properly, you have to swap the entire harness that goes all the way through the fender, into the dash, to the ECU, and halfway out the back of the car. That whole thing needs swapped technically to get the clutch, just the clutch switch, to be in the car. But, you know, it's not really necessary.
57 HDH said, "The beard is looking nice. You gonna try and catch up?"
Oh my God! Thanks for noticing. Yeah, I'm trying. I'd shave it down to. Hang on, the camera's mirrored, so pardon me as I get my bearings here. I would try to to shave the chin strap line, but then like last week, Michelle said, if you just let those scragglies alone, it might look like a beard kinda. So I was like, all right, fine. So I don't know which side's better. I let the scragglies kind of stay now up on top of my cheek. I really can't deal with this mirrored image. But yeah, so hopefully it gets nice and level with my mustache there. But yes, thank you for noticing. I am working on it. Trying to keep it off my neck a bit too, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so that's out. I'm going to scoot it out of the way a bit. Tomorrow, with some daylight, I think we're going to try to pressure wash everything. Both pressure wash this engine and pressure wash the bean machine itself, because it's a dirty mess, been sitting a long time. However, we're not done with this car. We still need all the interior bits, the pedal box, the manual shift linkage, and the shifter itself, all need to be pulled out. We also need to keep these axles, and we need to keep the starter. The cross member is supposedly a little different, although Steve and I looked the other day and it looks like they're not that different. And considering how rusty these bolts are up here, I'd like to not mess with that cross member. The harness, like I mentioned before, is the other main difference, but we're not going to worry about that. We might get new mounts for it. These mounts look okay. It's really hard to tell how much debris is on this thing. I guess it's covered in cobwebs and oil. It's hard to see much. So a lot of this is going to depend on what all cleans up. If it's not very clean, obviously we'll be looking into doing new seals. Like, it's leaking oil everywhere. So we're looking at a valve cover gasket for sure. Oil pan gasket probably. A new clutch while we have it all out would be very smart to do. Things like that. But like I said before, that kind of depends on what Alex wants to do, because it's his money. I don't want to spend it without his overview and approval first, or at least give him an idea of how much all this is going to cost. He's already paying me for the labor side of all this. I told him he'll probably get some parts on top of that. I just won't know which ones until now. So that being said, see if I can safely-ish drag this out of the way and see if we can get the camera repositioned so I can see in the car. The car also smells kind of weird inside. I'm assuming again from sitting. Oh, handle fell off. Alright, while I get some things moved around and set up, I'm going to add a poll to the chat real quick, because I'm actually super curious how you guys are tuning in. Are you following links that I post on Facebook? Are you getting notifications from YouTube itself? How are you finding this stuff? So let me go ahead and put a poll in here, if I can. I create a poll.
said, "At random."
How did you know about this stream? I got a YouTube notification. Notification. It was on my YouTube feed. I saw it on Facebook or other. Alright, somewhere now in the chat should be a poll. I don't know how to use the poll. This is my first time trying such a thing. So yeah, let me know. Okay, while you guys are checking that poll out, I'm going to check this real quick and see if I can set up a camera in the car. Alright. Take between Alright, I think I can use my old phone as the camera. Let's need to find a tripod. Okay, I think I can move the camera in the car and mount it to the hoist, but I will need to redo where the laptop is sitting. So yeah, let me go right back. I'm gonna go grab the other camera set up and try to get it plugged in and working instead. I think that's gonna be the better move here. And he's back. Hopefully y'all didn't miss me too much. But there's a lot to set up for the second camera dealio. Y'all be able to see what the heck I'm doing in the car. So give me a moment here, we'll get that set up. Oh my. It appears the door is locked with no lock tab to unlock it. Let's see if we can manage to get the key to work. Hey, I've done it. It's only like medium gross in here. All things considered, could be a lot worse. Alright, that's the basics of what we need here, along with that extension cord. We are setting up view 2 for the interior bit. Y'all can watch me break my spine to remove the, whatchamacallit, the pedal box. That's what I'm looking for. Nothing like watching your fellow man hurt themselves on a live stream. It's okay, don't lie to me. We all know it's hilarious. Just getting the second camera set up. It is a wireless camera, by which I mean it is my old phone simply plugged into the thing. Alright, chat, I'll need you guys to be nice and active for me here in a second, because I will need to test the other microphone. Check. Not quite.
Carol 2 said, "Stream has no picture."
Indeed, it does not. The other camera is still booting. I need to see if the microphone's even working, though. Check, check, check. Nope. That mic is not doing anything. Probably because it's not on. What am I doing? Check, check, check. Nope. Still no sound yet. Should be seeing something from Windows. Check, check. Nope. There we go. Now that second mic's working. We go back to our secondary camera here. Connect webcam. All right, now we should have picture. I said now we should have picture. Kinda. There it is. Doodle-doo. Boom. And then I need to add the other microphone. Alright, so I'm going to walk over there and whisper at the camera. Y'all let me know if you can hear me. Alright, can you guys hear me whispering? The microphone's right here. If I get really close to it, I should be quite loud right now, because the other microphone is on the other side of the room. So let me know if you can hear me. Why are there bricks in this chair?
Ger said, "Yep."
Fantastic news. I will get this out of the way then.
Ger said, "Can hear." Brian Carroll too said, "Why are there bricks in the Festiva?"
That is a good question. You know, I ask myself that every day. I get up, you gotta wonder, why there be bricks in the Festiva? You'd have to ask Colin, or maybe George, or maybe Alex. One of them might know. I have no clue. What I do know is we're gonna need the 12. We're gonna need the 10. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. The 10. We're gonna need this long extension. We're gonna need the little extension. We might even want the medium extension. We will want these pliers. I think that's it. And we will want some light. For some reason my new light keeps turning off. Wait, where is that light? Wasn't I just using it down here? Oh, here it is. Alright, see this is enough light to get the job done. Oh wait, did I lose camera connection somehow? I sure don't see me. No, don't schedule updates, you silly phone. Okay, that's better. Now we're live. We have an interior view. I have some tools. Somebody start the clock. Let's see how fast we can pull out a pedal box and a manual shift linkage, shall we? Step 1, shift knob off, boot off, 10 mil bolts, linkage drops down. one knob, one gross boot, 10 mil. Put on the carpet. There we go. There it is. Linkage is out. I had to get around the exhaust. That's why you heard the banging around. Next, we need to get the clutch cable pin off and the nuts off the pedal box itself. And we need to get the pin off the clevis for the brake pedal. So we'll start down here with our trusty pliers. This guy first. I'm gonna try to do this with the steering intact, just because I don't really want to mess with it right now. This Harbor Freight light is doing the same thing they always do to me, where the little spring inside loosens up, no longer makes contact. It's making for a very unreliable lighting experience down here. Okay, alright, I'll just use my own flashlight. I'll try to set it on this pedal. Well, so much for our speed run, I think. This is an exercise in frustration.
Said, "How's it smell in there?"
Not as bad as it did the other day. I think sitting in the garage has helped it a good bit, which I am quite thankful for. Let me tell you right now. Alright, got that clevis off. I will unplug our clutch switch. Also, I'm very silly for talking about the steering column earlier. I definitely have to drop it at least halfway to get the box out. Since it mounts to it. How could I have forgotten so quickly? Oh yeah, I got that clip without even looking. Alright. Try to unbrake my neck for a second. Switch back to our 10. Take the little shield off that's in the way here. Hardware. For everybody else that needs to use this stuff. Weld back on. Alright, steering column is at least most of the way out. Let's see if I get the last few bolts, and then maybe undo the clutch cable. Without breaking my spine even more. A little bit of dirt in the eyeball there. Classic. Ugh. I think even more disgusting and surprising is how much dirt I have in my mouth. Okay, all those are out. Flip back to the front of the car and pull the brake booster out of the way so studs aren't holding us up. As the kids say, hawk the tua. Alright, we caught up on. Stud. There we go. There we go. Got her wiggled free. Now I just need to pull that little annoying clip that holds the clutch cable in place. And there it is. One manual pedal box. We do it to the actual car later. We'll probably have to actually take most of this stuff out to be able to see really what's going on in there. But there it is. We've done it. There's that. The linkage is currently under the car. I got it fully freed. Ugh. There's our tools that we used. I'm going to cover those now. We will flip back to the other camera because I think we are done. At least in here.
Healer said, "Nice. Hello everyone. Sorry I'm late."
Late? A little bit, I guess. You made it just in time for the end of the stream. see if we actually get this thing charged real quick. There we go. Alright. There it is. We've pulled all the stuff. Dragon here, I don't know if you saw, but we now offer YouTube memberships where you can do fun emojis. If you pay $1.99 a month, you can do things like this.
Industries. Said. _will.
That was supposed to do this. Ta-da, it's my face. Or
Industries.
V2.
Said. _will. Salmon Industries. Said. _JDMV2.
Yeah. Actually, can we get the Maverick one to work yet?
Healer. Said. Oh cool.
Well, the Maverick one's not working yet. That's okay.
Salmon Industries. Said. _Maverick.
So yeah, if you become a YouTube member for the channel, you get access to those cool emojis. But there we go. We have done what we came here to do today. We have pulled the pedal box, we've pulled the shift linkage, we've pulled the engine, the transmission. It's all out, just like that. We're done. Ta-da!
Healer. Said. Thumbs up.
So, join me again tomorrow evening, and we will start cleaning all these parts. So that engine's going to get cleaned up, and we'll bring it back in and look at resealing it, see what all seals it needs. And we will push this out of here and pull in the bean machine and start pulling its auto B3 out, and we'll begin the swap process. So everything that we just pulled out will be going into that car over the course of the next 2 or 3 days. So for the next 2 or 3 days, basically, tune in. I think I'm going to start around 2 p.m.-ish and go throughout the whole night, so I get a lot done. So just be on the lookout for the notification. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and you can click the bell icon next to your subscription to get notified when we go live or when we make new uploads. And as I mentioned, we now have YouTube membership, so it's a great way to support me. Even if you don't really care about the emojis, it's just a good way to say, hey, I appreciate what you're doing. Here's a couple bucks. We also have Patreon, and we are looking at getting another round of shirts made. A different set of Salmon Industry shirts, a new design for this year. So if you're not already a member on Patreon, check it out at patreon.com/Salmon Industries. You can find us there, and we will be doing Patreon gifts this year. And if you go on YouTube memberships for the higher tier, which I think is like $6 a month or something, we are going to be tying in discount codes for the Festiva store for anybody who is a high tier member on YouTube. That way I can help give back to you guys for giving back to me as a thank you for giving to the community. It's a it's a nice little back and forth trade there. But honestly, just being here, watching the stream for free, saying hello, super helpful. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me, and the watch hours get us this much closer to YouTube, paying me, promoting me, etc. So, as always, thank you guys so much for joining, and I hope to see you next time. See ya! By next time, I mean tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow.